All right, greetings, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Sankori African Society African Village Meet. We give homage to our ancestors who came before us. I give homage to Men's, Akhenaten. I give homage to Nat Turner and Denmark Vesey and Gabriel Prosser, Sojourner Truth. I give homage to Harriet Tubman. I give homage to all our great leaders, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, and all those who stood up for our rise and salvation as we pour out libations for our ancestors and give tribute to them. Our subject today is the indomitable African spirit. We are a great people. Indomitable means a person who won't quit. They don't give up. They don't stop. They don't surrender when you have something that comes in your path. You don't surrender when obstacles seem insurmountable. You stand strong like a solid wall. And we have to understand that we are going to need that in order to defeat white supremacy. We're going to need an indomitable spirit. We have to stand strong and not fall victim or prey to all the things that come in our path. Indomitable spirit is what my namesake, Sundiata Keita, had. He had an indomitable spirit. Now, it was said that Sundiata was going to be a great king. It was prophesied. I'm not going to go in all the details, but I will on another date. It was prophesied that Sundiata was going to be a great king. It was prophesied that Sundiata was going to do great things. It was prophesied that Sundiata was going to expand the Mali Empire to no end. But when Sundiata was born, his mother was a hunchback woman named Sogolun Kande. When Sundiata was born, he didn't crawl like normal babies. He was a little slow. At 6, he still wasn't walking. So one day his father said, Sundiata, you're supposed to be my successor. You got to move faster. I give you your griot. He spoke his first words at the age of 6. And he said, Bala Faseki, you're my griot. So his father passed. And they didn't follow his wishes because they gave the kingship to his brother, Don Kron Tuman. Now, Don Kron Tuman was handsome like his father. He was strong like his father. Don Kron Tuman became king. And Sundiata's brother's mother, which was named Sosama, she couldn't stand Sundiata. She didn't like Sundiata. So one day his mother went, because in Mali they did practice polygamy, and he had 3 wives. He had Sogolun Kande, Sosama Barrett, and the Manji Kamara. So she went to the Queen Mother one day, his mother, and said, listen, Queen Mother, may I get some condiments from your garden? And she said, because the totem of the Keita family was the lion, so that's why he was called a lion. So each family is known by a particular animal. So Keita was the lion. So she said to the Queen Mother, I really would appreciate that. And the Queen Mother came very evil spirited to her and said, why don't you get Sundiata to do it? I'd rather have a crawling, what not how she put it. So I'd rather have a walking son than a crawling lion. So this hurt the Queen Mother. So she went back to Sundiata. She said, Sundiata, you are an embarrassment to me. All you do is lay around, you eat, you do nothing. And she began to cry. He said, don't worry, mother, I will walk today. So he called his father's blacksmith. And he asked his father's blacksmith to make him a rod. He took that rod and he stood himself up and began to walk. And everybody said, look, the lion is moving. The lion is roaring. And he went and picked up the whole baobab tree and brought it back to his mother. And from that day on, Sundiata began to flourish. He began to be a great hunter, a great master. He began to do great things. He was great, and his brother began to get jealous. His brother's mother began to get jealous. So his mother urged him, "You must banish Sundiata from the kingdom." So Sundiata said, Don Kron told his brother, "You must leave Niani." This was the capital city, Niani. And Sundiata gave his brother 2 words. He said, "You know what? Be good to your bad dog, because it's your bad dog that may protect you." And he told him another proverb. He said, "I don't care how much the babysitter or the house sitter sits the house never belongs to the house sitter or the babysitter. It belongs to the right occupant, the owner." So Sundiata left. He went to many different kingdoms. He was finally accepted by the Sise, the king Sise. And King Sise embraced him and loved him. He became a great warrior, and he made Sundiata second in command. At this time, though, there was a wicked king named Samunguru Kante. And Samunguru Kante began to take over. Samunguru Kante was a killer. Samunguru Kante would actually kill people and wear the human skins as clothing. And Don Kron punked out. So Don Kron gave him his sister, Nana Treban. And he began to get greedy and greedy. Eventually, he took over Niani. And when Sundiata found out, Sundiata rose up. He had great warriors with him like Farhan Kamara. Even his nephew had turned against him because he was so wicked. His name was Fakoli Kormadumbia. And Sundiata rose up and he defeated Samunguru Kante. So it shows you sometimes that parents, you may have a child that may be a little slow. He don't do well in school. It don't mean he ain't destined for greatness. But in Sundiata, he had that indomitable spirit. He never gave up. He never surrendered. And he became one of the greatest kings that we ever known today. He was a humble king, and he died after they had went on a war campaign. He died because he said, "Let the sick soldiers and the soldiers that are hurt go before me." And he drowned, or some say he went to be with his brother, the hippopotamus, because the sign for Mali is the hippopotamus. But Sundiata had that indomitable spirit. And I say again, we got to have that spirit. We don't give up. We don't get detracted. We don't get distracted. We stand strong and hold the course to defeat white supremacy. Now, another great people were the great people of Haiti. And in Haiti, the French were so brutal. The French would work us from sun up to sundown, to can't see morning to can't see night, with no regard for human life. They would say in Haiti at that time, called Hispaniola, they would work slaves for 3 years and they would die. They didn't have a life expectancy beyond 3 years because the work was so brutal. If you refused to work, they would just kill you. They would just massacre you. But the people couldn't take it. So a great one rose up. His name was Makandao. And Makandao was charismatic. Makandao was a Mandinka, I believe, from Mali, Guinea, or somewhere in Sundiata's empire. He spoke fluent Arabic. And Makandao was charismatic, and Makandao would go from plantation to plantation, galvanizing the people, teaching them the art of poison, and he began to poison white folks. He poisoned thousands and killed thousands of white people. And they finally captured him because we were not unified. So he said he had to leave. And he surrendered voluntarily, they say, and said his time was not yet, but he was getting prepared. And so as they captured him, they set him on fire, and he escaped, they say, and said, "I will return as a mosquito." So years later, one rose up by the name of Duty Bookman and Fatima, Cecilia Fatima, a sister. And they couldn't take the brutality of the French no more. So they came together, even though Boukman, he was named Boukman because he studied the Quran. He spoke Arabic fluently. Cecilia Fatima was Muslim, but they said we got to get back to our African traditions. They didn't raise a holy war. They didn't raise a jihad, even though they were Christians and Muslims. They said we got to get back, to our original religion, and that is Vodou. Call on our ancestors. Call on the Orishas. So they did during the festival Ogun and Blakwaima in the alligator swamp where white folks couldn't come down. They started galvanizing the people and letting them know we can't take the tyranny no more. And Boukman said the white man is a fraud. I'm summing up what he said. Their God is not. Their God is fraudulent. They don't believe in no God. They think they're God. And he said we've got to summon on the power of our ancestors, summon on Ogun, summon on Shango, summon on Oshun to give us the love to unify our families. And they summoned up themselves. And they came together and they picked the day, August 22nd, 1791. And they started killing white folks and cutting white throats. Everything white that was in sight had to go. They killed the babies. They didn't spare none of them because they knew their babies were going to go up to oppress their babies. They killed the women. They killed the faggots. They killed the lead. They didn't spare none of them goddamn crackers. They killed them. Then one rose up because they happened to capture Boukman and they killed Boukman. But one rose up. His name was Toussaint Louverture. And Toussaint Louverture was a very learned man. His master was a little bit more lenient than the rest of the white folks. He taught Toussaint how to read. And Toussaint got his freedom, and Toussaint became a soldier for the French. Toussaint was educated in military warfare and African warfare, and he went on to lead the army. And they gave the white man hell. They beat the French white man. They beat the British white man. They beat the Spanish white man. In fact, because of what Toussaint and them did, they had outlawed slavery all throughout the French Empire. Then the old no good cracker, Napoleon Bonaparte, came into power. He overthrew the revolutionary government because France had a revolution right before that and overthrew the king and beheaded the king. Now Napoleon, after he went into Egypt, had conquered Egypt and blew the nose off the Sphinx and defaced African statues. That's how much he hated black people. And he said, we cannot have this. We cannot have this. We have to end the rise of black people. We can't let black folks see that they're great because this happens. Because remember, the French helped Thomas Jefferson, no good cracker, George Washington, get their independence from Great Britain. So he said, we can't have this. We have to stop the rise of black people. So he wanted to reinstitute slavery. But Toussaint, thinking he could be diplomatic with the French. So he was educated by it. He thought that French could be his friends because he was the governor at one point when they overthrew the prior regime. He became the governor. He wanted to be a part of France. So he went in to talk, thinking he could negotiate it. And he locked up our brother Toussaint in the mountains of France, and he died. But there was one called Jean-Jacques Dessalines. There was no compromise in Jean-Jacques Dessalines. And Jean-Jacques Dessalines didn't like the white man. Jean-Jacques Dessalines believed that only good French white man is a dead white man. If you find one good, God damn it, kill him before he go bad. Jean-Jacques Dessalines took over. And Jean-Jacques Dessalines ran the white man out of there. He didn't spare none of them crackers. He ran them out and secured Haiti. They became an independent black republic in 1804. And because of this, Haiti also freed many nations in South America. Oh, they were great people. Jean-Jacques Dessalines was great. And Jean-Jacques Dessalines recognized the treachery of the white man. Even the mulattoes had to join with Jean-Jacques Dessalines. They understood he was something special. There was one French general, and this French general, to show how treacherous, he summoned all of the all of the French together. I mean, also all of the mulattoes together, and had a party for them. And this French general brought them all presents, the women presents, and it was their husband's head in the box. So they realized that there's not no such thing as a good Frenchman. They got to go. And they rose up, and those people in Haiti had that indomitable spirit. They believed in their self. They knew they could do it. They didn't surrender. They didn't punk out. They realized they were a great, majestic people. Harriet Tubman was a woman like that. Harriet Tubman knew that slavery was wrong. And Harriet Tubman had to get away from the slave master. Harriet Tubman had to stand strong, and Harriet Tubman escaped. But she went back countless times to get her brothers and sisters out of bondage. She could free more if they only knew they were slaves. And Harriet Tubman kept a rifle with her because she knew some of us wanted to go back. Some of us liked being slaves. Someone say, no, man, I want to go back to master. And Harriet Tubman say, dead men tell no tales. Oh, she was a great, can you imagine how strong you have to be to get free and go back with a bounty on her head and go back countless of times? They say she would disguise herself as a man. Sometimes she would disguise herself and put on an old hat and have a chicken. And she would throw the chicken down and say, oh, my master's chicken. Oh, she was mad. She helped the North win the war. She was a spy for the North. She went in as a nurse for the North. This is a great sister. So black women, you were great. We never could do anything without the black woman. In the Haitian Revolution, there was Fatima, Cecilia Fatima, and Tantoya, who taught Dessalines how to be a warrior. So women, you have a place if you stand strong and help your man to stand strong. We can overcome white supremacy. Shaka Zulu had that indomitable spirit. The Zulu defeated the British, massacred the British. Shaka Zulu believed he was strong, believed he and the God with him. When they showed him a picture of old Peckerwood Cracker laying on the cross, and they said, this is God. He said, no, they're not God. I'm Shaka. I am the God of this land. Kunta Kinte had that indomitable spirit. He knew he was a Mandinka warrior. He knew he was strong. They couldn't break him. They couldn't destroy his spirit. He wanted to be free. And he refused to take the white man's name of Toby. You know, they beat him. He kept saying Kunta Kinte, hitting him with a whip. What's your name? Kunta Kinte. He would not surrender till finally he came in his mind. He said, I got to survive to live another day. And he still ran. He never gave up. He put that spirit into his daughter, Kizzy. She put that spirit into Chicken George, and our brother Alex Haley had that spirit, that indomitable spirit, knows that we're somebody strong. So we realize we're great people, can't get defeated. We can't be stopped. We can't surrender or yield to the pressure of giving up to a no good, wicked system. We understand we got that indomitable spirit. We can defeat COVID. Stop being afraid of COVID. How I talk to her, oh, the virus, the virus. Goddamn, we're people that beat 400 years of oppression in America, beat over 1,000 years from the no good Sandman, the Ku Klux Klan of the Sand Rat Arab. We can defeat COVID as well because we are an indomitable spirit people, African people. We're great. You look at Muhammad Ali. Oh, Muhammad Ali, when he realized and began to study with Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm, understand how great the black man was, he would say, I am the greatest. He knew he couldn't be beat because he believed in himself. He never would surrender. He would go in and taunt Sonny Liston and say, come on outside. Go outside Sonny Liston's home. And Sonny Liston was a strong black man, a gangster. Go outside. Come on outside, you big ugly bear. And all the critics was against Ali, but Ali kept believing and he kept saying he was great. He kept saying he was handsome. He kept saying, see how pretty I am. They would say, I saw Sonny Liston. Ain't he ugly? He's too ugly to be the world's heavyweight champ. The world's heavyweight champ should be pretty like me. And he went on and he defeated Sonny Liston. And when they tried to get Ali to go to the war, Ali said, I'm not going to Vietnam. No Viet Cong ever called me a nigga. No Viet Cong didn't kill Emmett Till. No Viet Cong didn't work my people from sun up to sundown to can't see morning to can't see night. Damn it, I'm not going to Vietnam. My fight is right here with you, the white man. My fight is right here with you, with your oppression. When I want freedom, you my opposer. When I want justice, you my opposer. So if I want to fight, goddamn it, I'll fight right here. They didn't like Ali. They took his title. He said, even if I face machine gun fire, I will not denounce the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and believe that the black man was God. I will never denounce that. And he went on. And he won his case. And he came back at 32 after losing some of his comeback fights. He lost to Ken Norton. He lost to Joe Frazier. And he went up against Big George Foreman. George Foreman knocked out Ken Norton, knocked out Joe Frazier in the second round, I believe. But Ali knew he could do it. He taunted George Foreman. And Howard Cosell would interview him. He would say, this is Howard Cosell. I'm here with Muhammad Ali. Muhammad, do you think you could beat George Foreman? Muhammad, let's face it, you're not the man you were 10 years ago. And Ali would say, well, Howard, I didn't want to tell nobody this. I talked to your wife. That you're not the man you were 2 years ago. That thing you got on your head is a phony, and it come from a tail of a pony. I've been training for this fight, Howard. I wrestled with an alligator, tussled with a whale, handcuffed, lightning, thrown, dumped in jail. Just last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Fast. Last night I cut the lights off, was in bed before it was dark. And he went on to beat George Foreman and won his title back again with that indomitable spirit. Malcolm X had that indomitable spirit. Malcolm X, when he realized who he was and realized who the enemy was, Malcolm X raised himself up. He couldn't read that well. He only had an 8th grade education. He started out by taking a dictionary, learned the whole dictionary, and went on to be one of the greatest speakers ever. Profound the world. Malcolm would get offered, even with an 8th grade education, to speak at Harvard and Oxford and all these great universities because he had that indomitable spirit. So I'm saying this to say, brothers, I conclude, we got to stand strong and understand how great we really are. You come from great kings and queens, African man, African woman, and those of you don't want to believe you're African, well, goddamn it, if you're black, you come from great kings. You are the first people of the planet Earth. You are the original people. You are the God and goddess of the universe, black people, so we can do great things. Let us pool our resources. Let us get our money together and do for self. Let's stop begging a white man for his crumbs off his table and create our own infrastructure for ourselves. I want to say this about Haiti. As I broke down the Haitian Revolution, this is why these white people today, you see them on whips attacking Haitians. They know how great we are. They still want Haiti to pay for what happened with the Haitian Revolution. You know, Haiti played, if you calculate what they gave, I think it was some millions. They gave $20 billion to France for defeating them. $20 billion. If you calculate what it would be worth today, for getting out of their tyranny. So they can't stand Haiti. This is why they let Mexicans come over here. And quit talking about a goddamn brown and black dilemma. The brown man ain't your friend. Ain't no damn Paco ain't your friend. Jesus ain't your goddamn friend. We ain't got no damn friends as African people. They come over here, you saw in Chicago, as I said last week, they was killing our people. Right here on the west side of Chicago. In California, they've killed our people. They no friend. They think like white folks, many of them. So you can't rely on that. And they let Mexicans come over here by the million. You can't even pick up a phone while hearing some goddamn Spanish. They let the damn Afghanis come here. We don't care about no damn Afghanis. They don't care about. There'll be another Arab speaking people coming over here selling you pork, selling you drug paraphernalia, not respecting you. But they let 100,000 Afghanis come here, but they don't want the Haitians to come here. If it was not for Haiti, and I give our brother, I said earlier, Umar Johnson gave a good talk. I suggest you listen to it. He talked about this. I give my brother credit for that topic. They letting 100,000, as I just said, of Afghanistan people, Afghanis come over here, but they don't want the Haitians to come. We Africans in Haiti defeated the French so bad, they almost went damn bankrupt because of the Haitian Revolution, which allowed America to buy up Louisiana because that was French occupied. That made America great. That gave America wealth. And our Haitian brothers can't come up. We got to stand up and say something about that, goddamn. We got to go to the embassy, let our voice be heard, go on the border patrol, and we see a cracker with a whip, take that goddamn whip from that cracker and break his goddamn neck. You're not going to beat our people. You're not going to abuse our Haitians. We ought to be there to support Haiti. Haiti deserves our support. Haitians people are great people. Excuse me. So it's a shame how they doing our people in Haiti. Why? Because their skin is dark. So you rather have Paco, rather have Ali from goddamn Afghanistan? Hell no. We got to stand strong and speak out against that. So I broke down that study the Haitian Revolution, study Macandal, study Toussaint Overture, study Jean-Jacques Dessalines, study Christophe. I just touched on it. I'll go more in detail on it later. If you have questions, you can call up and we can talk about this dialogue. I thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Let's be strong, let's unite, and let's come together as one. Thank you so much. I'm going to go. All right, I'm going to go to Brother Daniel. Brother Daniel, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm going to shout out in the name of our ancestors, the Egungu or the Eguns. And, I'd like to shout out to Ida B. Wells, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Claire Muhammad, Marcus Garvey's wife who took a bullet for him. And I want to shout out to the men, the Honorable Mosiah Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Malcolm X, the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King, the all-time greats who paved the way for us. Just like the brother talked about Haiti. But a lot of people don't talk about the Gullah Wars that happened in Florida, where the descendants of slaves took over that region.
Hey, Dan, you want to put your camera on so we can see you?
Oh, brother. I have to have the camera on. I like to be heard but not seen.
Yeah, let us see your face, brother.
Because I don't have the right tire on. I'm in the bed. I ain't looking right.
All right. Okay, go ahead. Daniel? Brother Daniel. I think we lost Brother Daniel. I want to go back. Let's go to all right, brother, you there? Samora, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
All right, well, give us drop some wisdom on us, brother.
Thank you, brother. I want to first thank you for allowing me to speak, come on and share a little bit about my experience. I'm what you consider a millennial, and we were never really taught about our African history and how we have overcome so many obstacles. And for myself, I can truly say what you're saying is true. I must have had some great ancestors through my bloodline, because no matter how troublesome or how things might look in my life, I've always been able to overcome them. A lot of people didn't know I didn't start speaking until I was about 7 or 8 years old. I had a speech impediment, couldn't say a whole sentence. So people used to think I was slow. But once I went to classes, speech impediment classes, and I got with a brilliant African woman named Mrs. Peoples. She helped me develop my tongue, and from then on, I excelled in school. In fact, a lot of people didn't know I skipped grades. I skipped 2 grades. I skipped 5th grade and 6th grade. I went straight 7th grade. I graduated early. I graduated even though some might say I dropped out of school because of I never could adapt to the white man's academics. It was too slow for me, too boring, and I knew it was filled with lies. So I finished school when I was 16. I went and got my GED and started, my adulthood, going off to trade school and whatnot. And then moving on through life, it always seems as though we're in a position where we're at the bottom. And when we go back in history, we see nothing but our people at the top. So I applaud you for bringing that spirit, which I was going to ask you, how do we get people to follow the footsteps that our ancestors left for us, for as to freedom, for as to liberation, for as to separatism. And that's really, and I'm trying to see the answers by evoking those spirits, invoking those names, invoking those conversations where we was triumphant. When we was, when the odds were against us, we still overcame. As long as we keep invoking them, having the libations and invoking those spirits, I believe that all of us as individuals can rise above anything that can stop us. And if we all get on that same spirit, that same frequency, that same mind state, we as a people will be able to separate and grow and build an empire for our children and our children to come. And that's all I really got. I just want to keep it short because I don't know if my truck's too loud. But I do appreciate you brothers for coming on. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. Please share. Please give this information out to your youth, to your elders, to your brothers, to your sisters, your cousins. Come join this family. Come get this these teachings, these lessons that can't do nothing but empower you. And that's all I have to say, brother. Thank you. Are y'all still there? Right.
Yes, sir. I didn't get to finish. I got cut off.
Go ahead, brother. You have the floor.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, sir. But as a people, we need to get back to what our ancestors was into. Our ancestors was into agriculture. We got to come together and buy up this land, buy land here in Africa, so we can clothe and feed ourselves. Right now, we depend on our adversary to feed and clothe us. We got to stop that.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother Daniel.
Because that would be a good revolutionary move on our part. We have to do that. We have to put our money together and buy land. We got our mouths in our adversary's kitchen. That's why we sick the way we are as people. We depend on our enemies, our 430-year-old enemy to help. We depend on them, and we got to get out of that.
That's right. That's right.
And we must unify, and we can't be arguing about what religion you believe in. They don't care if you're a Muslim. They don't care if you're a Christian. They don't care if you're an atheist. They don't care if you practice Ifa, Fa. They don't care about none of that. We got to come together. They don't care if you're from the Caribbean. They don't care if you're continental African. They don't care if you're from here. We have to come together.
That's right.
And unify. There's power in unity. I can't do it by myself. We got to come together. No man is an island. We have to come together as a people.
That's right.
And we need to start our own political party because, the Honorable Malcolm X warned us. He said that the Democratic Liberal Party is the most dangerous. He compared to both parties. One was the fox and one was the wolf. Both of them are two sides of the same coin. We need to start our own political party. We need to come together and stop shuckling and jiving. That's all I have to drop. Peace, my brothers and sisters.
All right. Brother Daniel? All right, Brother Daniel. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, so what we talking about today is indomitable African spirit. This green y'all see is how I was on my laptop, and it's how we make the background go in. It's called, you put a green screen up. So y'all can do that, just have your logo on, but the phone for some reason doesn't show that. But I thank everybody for tuning in. If we have anybody who want to call in, you can call in and discuss it. But that indomitable African spirit, man, is very important. As you can see, our people in Haiti are suffering today because of what they did in the past. Them white folks did not like.
Pardon me, Chief. I just want to expound on something. How the spirit is still in the Haitian people today. Now I can't get my brother to get up and walk 2 miles to the corner store, to get groceries for his own kids. You got brothers from Haiti going to Brazil, Colombia, thousands, hundreds of miles to get to a place they don't even know if they're going to be accepted. So it's some type of spirit, some type of African spirit that can move somebody to believe in something that's unseen. I can't get nobody to walk to another state. We're talking about miles, days, not eating. I believe that we are so pacified or comfortable in this white man society that spirit is laying dormant because we're so comfortable. The struggles that we go against, we most likely either put it on ourselves, or we are so comfortable that we don't want to fight against it. We don't want to become entrepreneurs. We don't want to, farm. We don't want to, learn a skill, learn how to, cook, clean, fish, garden. Those things that we just want to watch TV. We just want to be entertained. But in Haiti and other third world countries where we are living, they are living to survive, not for entertainment. And it just amazes me, that thousands of people will make that trip to a place that they don't even know that will accept them. So it has to be that great spirit that's inside those brothers to make them travel and migrate in such a way. Brother Daniel, Chief, you want to say something about that?
Well, I hate to I feel where you're coming from, but let me say this. I think, yes, they have the indomitable spirit, but they're not tapping into it, because if they would get back to where they really wanted to, where they really should be, they're going to be trying to come to America. Because Jean-Jacques, they made things work there. They began to grow food for themselves, take care of themselves. So they really would tap into that. But the problem is, America has made everybody think that being here with a white man is the best place to be. If our Haitian brothers really could tap into that, they wouldn't risk their lives to come to no damn America. There are people that defeat the front. This, can you imagine a nation of so-called slaves defeated all the superpowers in the world? At that time, France was a superpower. Great Britain was a superpower. You see, Spain was a superpower, and they defeated them with that indomitable African spirit. They defeated those people. So you can't really look at them today and say, how strong it is to make it. I agree with you. That's a great spirit to make it far, but not knowing how great you are and how great, the great people that came from the past, they got to tap back into that to make Haiti work for themselves. But America went into Haiti in 1915 and took all the resources, gold. Haiti still has gold. Haiti still has oil. Haiti still has a lot of natural resources, rich soil. So they would tap back into that, then they would need to run to America. We would support our brothers and sisters over there. We should be financially supporting Haiti, so it should be a great place, a great tourist attraction where every black man in the world should want to see how these beautiful people defeated our enemy. So I definitely hear where you're coming from. And your story is much like Sundiata. You didn't talk, and Sundiata was the same way, but you see how great he came. We never can throw our children away because they're destined to be great, even if they have some problems, speech impediments, or they may have some type of learning disability. Don't make them not great. You see what I'm saying? They didn't finish school. It don't make Malcolm finish school. Malcolm only went to the 8th grade. Elijah Muhammad only had a 4th grade education. But look how great he became. You see? So education is not just defined by an edifice or a building. Education is defined by one who acquires knowledge, and you can educate yourself because you can't get into school. It don't mean that learning stops. You can teach yourself. You see, that's that indomitable spirit that we have. Yeah. Brother Dan, you there?
Yes, sir. I was going to drop something
All right, go ahead.
about Haiti. Like you said, Haiti has a wealth of resources, and we also have our brothers from continental Africa who has a wealth of resources. Here, us here, descendants of slaves in America, we have a wealth of leaders. We have a wealth of leaders. Just imagine both all that come together. What kind of people we would become a real great people. We had a wealth of leaders who gave good information. We had the Honorable Mosiah Garvey. We had the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We had Malcolm X. I can go on and on. And, it saddens me that they have to go to that to come over here to get a paycheck when they got the resources in their country. You know what I mean? The tropical areas are blessed with resources. The Caribbean islands, Africa, all those areas have the richest resources in the world. So we was blessed with a wealth of leaders. That's what we were blessed with. We all need to bring that together and make something happen for ourselves. That's all I want to drop.
All right. All right. Definitely. So, like I say, brothers and sisters, um, we got to tap into that indomitable spirit. Know that you're great. Know that you're something special. Let's stop downing each other, criticizing each other. Uh, let's have an unconditional, undying black love for each other. We know there's something special, man. We know we're something special. But back to what I was saying about Haiti, everybody should try to invest something we're going to do with Sanctuary African Society. We're going to definitely work to unite with our brothers in Haiti, get a chapter of Sanctuary African Society in Haiti. And that way we can actually help our people over there. Because like I said, man, I just can't say how proud it all make us feel. We want to talk about the Haitian Revolution when I was in school. And I think a lot of children, they don't know about Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Toussaint Louverture, Boukman, Christophe, Mackinac. We don't know about it. We don't know about the other there's a lot of great uprisings and great slave revolts. Simke, Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser, the Stonewall Rebellion. Our people just didn't, excuse me, our people didn't take being a slave and said we're going to be slaves We ain't gonna fight back. Our people fought back. Our people stood up. Our people were warriors. We resisted slavery. So if we can resist it back then, we are because things have to change. Even though you don't have chains on your, even if you don't have chains, you still have a change on your mind. We still dealing with the mass incarceration of black men. As we're gonna be going down to Indianapolis, Indiana, dealing with the way they mistreated brothers down in Indianapolis. How mass incarceration is at an all-time high amongst black people. So it's something we definitely can do, and we definitely can unite and stand strong to overcome what's happening with our people in the prison system. We definitely got to do that. We got to get lawyers that are serious, lawyers who ain't trying to just take your money and not actually do anything, you know. And down south, especially Georgia, man, they lock you up for everything. That's why I got locked up down there for a damn parking, damn red light violation. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Uh, expired license plate sticker. I was riding around in Chicago with expired license plate for a year. I never really got pulled over. Please get behind me on even pull. They do. They just man, you get to keep your sticker. Man, in Georgia, they locking us. They can't wait to lock up. So they put you on probation with some privatized probation company, so they can white folks can make money. And wait for you to mess up, they'll lock you up over there. So we know things ain't changed. This is why separation is the only solution for our people. Complete separation. No compromise. No pussyfooting around. No tiptoe through the tulips. Separation is the agenda we have to be. Brother Daniel, you want to add something to that?
Yes, sir. We do need our own because we tried integration and it's been an abject failure. Even Martin Luther King said he was leading our people. He felt like he was leading our people to a burning bush. And we see the end results of this. We're at the bottom of the totem pole in all social orders. We need our own schools. We need our own nation. We need our own everything. That's all I want to drop. Oh, I was going to piggyback about Haiti. Another thing that the Haitians did. Haiti used to be a place of refuge from the descendants of slaves from here. There was a lot of descendants from slaves that escaped slavery and fled to Haiti, and was welcomed with open arms in Haiti. So that's all I want to drop right there, my brother, and
Right.
sisters.
Well, Haiti also helped free Venezuela. Because we only tend to think Africans went to America. But African people went all over South America, we went to Mexico. Our brother Yanka is named after one of the great rebellious slaves in Mexico. He rebelled, read a lot of revolt, and they call it Yanka Mexico. We went to Brazil, Peru, Panama, everywhere you can think they had slaves.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, exactly. So we were all over because Africa really became desecrated, and this is why Africa is suffering today. Because when you imagine losing millions of best and brightest, you know, so now we who have studied abroad, learned over here in America, we got to take that talent back to Africa and rebuild it. That's we have every black man and woman should want to return home to Africa, help make Africa great like it needs to be, because that transatlantic slave trade was awful. We also had the trans-Sahara slave trade. Even some of us went over to India. So we had many obstacles that have brought us down to you, and we got to come back and redeem Africa. Africa redemption. Africa for the Africans, at home and abroad. We got to redeem Africa. That has to be on the agenda. Yeah. Yeah, some more. That's somebody to know about you. I know you didn't talk for. You never know now. Some more.
Yes, sir.
I said you'll never know now if you couldn't talk.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't. I talked to I was about 7 or 8 years old. Couldn't get his whole sentence out.
We never know how you run your mouth now, boy. You
Uh,
never know.
yeah. And
Yeah,
since
very
once I started talking, I never shut up.
and very articulate, very
Yes,
smart.
yes, indeed.
So the parallel between you and Sundiata.
I, I'm sorry, my microphone broke up. I didn't hear what you said. Hello? Yeah, I'm having some
Oh,
technical difficulties.
okay, that's all right.
I can hear you.
Oh,
We
y'all
we
can hear
hear
me? Okay. I can't hear y'all. It's breaking up. What was the question or statement?
no. I was just saying, you never know. You couldn't talk. Is how well you speak now, how well you carry yourself. You never know
Oh yeah,
what you what happened to you.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. All right.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
So yeah, definitely, man. You know what's going on, and we talking about what's going on in Haiti. You guys listening want to call in the call number at the bottom of the screen. You can call in. We'd love to have you and take your calls. Um, but yeah, we definitely got to get ourselves stronger, man, and recognize the agenda has to be separation. There's no compromise on that. Separation has to be the agenda. Separation or it's death. There is no uh, compromise. Got to get out. We got to get out of there. Must get out of there. So with that being said, we don't have any calls. We should, some of our people are missing today. We gave you something. I can think. We able to get down my talk, Daniel. What I said about when I talked about Sunjata and Haiti. We able to get out of that. But
Yes,
Daniel,
sir. I like how you touched on Sinjata.
yeah,
Yes, yes, sir. I would like to have a copy of that, Reese. Read it for myself. It's
all right,
interesting.
definitely.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So with that being said, well, I guess we can go ahead and get on out of here for the day. We brought you something, so you got a good chance that we have a little discussion and talk. So, but if anybody wants to call in, the number's still there. If not, we'll go ahead and sign on out. If anybody have any questions, we want to get this YouTube to grow. It's growing, it's going well. We want to try to get it, a little bit better. So, mhm. So like I said, final thought. We'll be back next week. Uh, with the African village. We're gonna keep this going until we get out this condition. Gonna keep this going, keep being strong, keep encouraging you to listen. Tell a friend to listen to the African Village Meetings brought to you by Sankore African Society every Sunday at 2 o'clock. We went a little late today, but that's all. We'll be back next week at 2. So we thank you all and say peace and blessings. May the answers be with you. Keep you strong.
Say it again.
What your son say? Are you saying something? Kamari saying something?
Say black pop.
Black power. Black power, guys. That's my godson. That's that's Kamari. How old are you now, Kamari? Okay. All right. Love you, Kamari. All right. All right. With that being said, we're gonna end the broadcast now. We'll be back with you next week. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Peace. Peace.